The reason why the wolf is the most successful animal on planet Earth before us was the fact that they had the ability to collaborate, and they also had the ability to have versatility of behavior. So all the other animals on planet Earth had a singular axis of power. So when you look at the gorillas, if you are the biggest, most powerful gorilla, then you get all the females and all the food. If you're one of the smaller, beta, less successful gorillas, you get very little food and none of the females. And that's the way the hierarchy of singular power functions. It's the same with lions. It is the operating system of almost all collective animals on the planet. And it's one of the reasons why in all of those species, the males have developed what's called the sexual dimorphism, which means the males are noticeably bigger than the females, because the function of males is to fight with other males, okay? So that was going to be our future at some point. And we changed that story because it wasn't effective. The wolves reigned supreme because the wolves did not run off of that hierarchical system. They did not have a single axis of power. They had a secondary axis that they developed, which was connection. When you take those two axes of connection and power, it gives you four different choices, buckets of behavior. And as soon as the wolves started funneling into those four buckets of behavior, then they had very, very different, delineated, and specialized roles that they played in the pack, and that gave them the secret to evolution. Because probably what you've been taught, or what you have remembered being taught, was evolution and survival of the fittest. And it's simply not true. Evolution is survival of the most adaptable. And this is true for societies, it's true with organizations, it's true with families, and it's true with individuals and species. The wolves are adaptable. It's the reason why I have the widest range of any animal on planet Earth until us, because we hacked their operating system. So these four buckets of behavior that existed in wolves, very quickly, they are generally driven by a creative, powerful couple, which we're going to call that the alpha pair, right? They're the ones that are innovative, they're the ones that hold space, they're the ones that reign and make decisions in the pack. And wolves have 30% larger brains than our dogs, and they use them. They solve problems. They have an intensely complex set of emotions. Wolves grieve. Wolves are able to train other wolves on hunts. It's an incredibly complex system. Not as complex as our culture, because it's hardwired into them. And so that alpha pair is the one that holds court in the wolf pack. Then there's the second role of behavior, which are the larger animals, and they call those the betas. They're the warriors, they're the hunters. They're the ones that are going to go in on the large prey that wolves hunt, and they're the ones that are going to go in first. They're going to hunt that 1,500-pound forest horse with spears on its head, and they're going to kill it with their face. That's what warrior wolves do. However, there's also the opposite of the warrior wolf, which is called the nanny wolf. And this is one or more of these highly empathetic, highly compassionate, specialized wolves that doesn't even have to go out and hunt. They stay back in the den and they protect and they raise and they nurture the young of the pack. And then the fourth bucket of behavior is the specialist wolf. They're the ones that have the best eyesight. They're sight hunters, or the best sense of smell, or tracking, or problem solving. And as situations arrived with wolves, they were able then to have an agility and the ability to pivot. And that adaptability allowed them to hunt in many, many different terrains, very many different prey, and it allowed them to thrive. That versatility of behavior unlocks adaptability, which means sustainable thriving. Humanity followed that suit. They saw what was working. We were able to see who is the most successful animal on the planet, and we started partnering with them. And at 35,000 years, an amazing thing happened with our species. We flatlined technologically and culturally for 250,000 years. Nothing changed. Like, it's almost hard to grasp the magnitude of that statement. For 250,000 years, nothing changed with humanity. When we look at the one tool that humanity operated, it's called an Acheulean hand axe. It's a crude bladed stone tool. And it didn't change for thousands, tens of thousands, and hundreds of thousands of years. Now, these aren't cavemen. These are not simplistic, lowbrow brutes running through the wilderness. This is us using the same tool for 250,000 years. And at 35,000 years, everything changed. And it's called our cognitive revolution. At 35,000 years, we see an explosion of technological change. We see an explosion of artistic creation. We see complex ritual burials. We see a spike in the magnificent cave art that we see around the globe. We see us becoming the apex predator of the earth. And it is exactly at that same time at 35,000 years that the wolf started its journey into becoming our dogs. And so this beautiful animal that is in front of me right now was a wolf 35,000 years ago. The operating system is still there. Our partnership still continues. And that connection to the wilderness and to the wild is our birthright. And it's anchored in collaboration. It's anchored into the legacy of hunting big game. Wolves don't hunt rabbits. Wolves hunt elk. They hunt bison. And the same thing is true with you. You're not built to just work for a paycheck. You're not built to just survive and eke out a living. You're built for legacy. You're built to do things that are going to impact groups of people and projects bigger than yourself. We're designed to hunt big game, and we can't do it alone. It takes at least 10 wolves to pull down a bison. It takes at least 3 good men to bucket out the lake. It takes a pack of wolves or men to be able to do those legacy-defining, large-scale, purpose-driven projects that provide you with the meaning in your life. So stop playing small, and you need to gather your allies to be able to go on this hunt together. This is the legacy of men. This is where we're beginning. And something has happened that has misdirected us. And that's the next step of the journey.